Welcome. Welcome to LEWS Podcast, and especially welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be diving in.
Today, we're plunging into a concept that once you get it, it really shifts your perspective on what's truly holding you back or, what's propelling you forward. Your mindset.
Yeah, it's fundamental.
Our mission today is to really dig into the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset.
And we're not just talking theory here.
No, definitely not. We're drawing on, foundational psychology research and some really compelling real-world examples.
The goal being to help you unlock a significant edge in your own life.
Exactly. That's the aha moment we're aiming for.
And it's crucial to understand this isn't just like a buzzword.
Right.
This framework, it's rooted in solid research, and it impacts, everything. How you learn, your relationships, your work.
It shapes your everyday experiences.
Absolutely. So as we start, maybe just think for a second. Have you ever found yourself saying, I'm just not good at that?
Or felt properly stuck?
Yeah, truly stuck. This deep dive should shed some light on why that happens and maybe more importantly, how you can start to change it.
Okay, let's unpack these two core mindsets then. Because they represent really different beliefs about our own capabilities.
Fundamentally different.
So first up, the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, talents, even personality, they're pretty much set in stone.
Like you're born with a certain amount and that's that.
Exactly. You've got your a classic example, you hear it all the time, I'm just not a math person.
Or I could never learn an instrument.
Right. Or I'm terrible at public speaking. It sort of closes the door on getting better.
It really does. It's this feeling that your potential has a ceiling. It's predetermined.
Now contrast that with the growth mindset.
Which is, quite the opposite. It's this powerful belief that your abilities, your intelligence, they aren't static at all.
It can be developed.
Exactly. Developed, strengthened, expanded through effort, through learning, through sticking with it.
So instead of, I'm not a math person.
It becomes, okay, I'm not great at math yet.
The yet.
That little word is huge, but I can definitely improve if I practice. It completely reframes it.
And this whole idea, it's not just pulled out of thin air. We should mention the foundational research.
Oh, absolutely. Dr. Carol Dweck, the Stanford psychologist, her work, especially her book, Mindset, has just been revolutionary.
It really changed the game in education and psychology.
It did. It gave us the language and the framework to understand this.
So what's really illuminating, I think, is looking at how these mindsets actually show up day to day.
Right, the practical differences. Because it's not just a way of thinking, it dictates how you act.
Let's take challenges. Someone with a predominantly fixed mindset, what do?
Often they'll avoid them. Steer clear.
Why is that?
Because a challenge feels like a risk. It might expose a limitation, prove they aren't actually smart or talented, which is terrifying if you believe those things are fixed.
Whereas someone with a growth mindset,
They tend to lean in. They might even seek challenges out.
see them as opportunities.
Opportunities to learn, to stretch themselves, to get better. It's not about proving themselves, it's about improving themselves.
Okay, what about setbacks? We all face those.
A huge difference here. Fixed mindset sees a setback, a failure, as kind of definitive proof. See? I knew I couldn't do it.
So they give up more easily.
Much more easily. But the growth mindset, they see a setback as information.
Maybe.
Exactly. Data. Okay, that didn't work. Why not? What can I learn? How can I adjust? They persist. Failure isn't the end of the story. It's part of the plot.
And this connects to effort, right?
Absolutely. If you think talent is fixed, putting in loads of effort seems, a bit pointless, maybe even embarrassing. Like, if I was really talented, I wouldn't need to try this hard.
I can see that.
But for a growth mindset, effort is the key. It's the path to mastery. It's how you develop ability.
It's the engine, not the consolation prize.
Perfectly put. And one more comparison. Others' success. How do the mindsets react?
Oh, this is a big one. Fixed mindset can feel threatened.
Threatened, jealous, discouraged. Someone else's success seems to diminish their own standing somehow.
Because it's a limited pie, in their view.
Kind of, yeah. Whereas a growth mindset can actually find inspiration in others' success.
Like, wow, look what they achieved. How did they do it? What can I learn from them?
Precisely. It's seen as evidence of what's possible, a source of lessons, not a reason for despair. It's a totally different emotional reaction.
It's amazing how these internal beliefs ripple outwards. The impact is just so broad.
It really is. Think about school and learning.
Yeah, the research there is pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Students with growth mindsets tend to do better academically
They do, but it's not just about grades. They actually seem to enjoy the process of learning more. They're less afraid of making mistakes.
because mistakes aren't seen as, a verdict on their intelligence.
Exactly. They're just steps on the path. And then in the workplace, wow.
Oh, crucial there. Adaptability, innovation.
Right. Employees who have that growth mindset, who can take feedback constructively.
Who see criticism not as, you're bad at this, but as, here's how you could get better.
Those are the people who grow the fastest. They learn, they adapt, they contribute more dynamically. A fixed mindset can really stall a career.
And it goes beyond work and school, doesn't it? Into our personal lives.
Absolutely. Think about relationships. If you have a fixed mindset about your partner or even yourself in the relationship,
Like, oh, they'll never change, or we just aren't compatible.
exactly, it can lead to resentment, gridlock. You stop trying because you think change isn't possible.
Whereas a growth mindset encourages
Mm.
what? Empathy, forgiveness.
Empathy, understanding that people can evolve, communication, believing that challenges can be worked through, that you can learn together. It fosters connection.
And finally, mental health. That connection seems really strong too.
Definitely. Cultivating a growth mindset builds resilience. When you believe challenges are temporary and you can learn from hardship.
You're less likely to feel overwhelmed or hopeless.
Precisely. It reduces stress because you see difficulties as obstacles to navigate, not permanent walls stopping you. It fundamentally changes how you cope.
That brings up something though. It sounds great on paper, have a growth mindset, but what about when it's really hard? When you do put in the effort and still fail?
That's a really important point, and it touches on what Carol Dweck herself calls a false growth mindset.
Okay, what's that?
It's kind of paying lip service to the idea, saying you value effort, but still deep down judging yourself or others based on talent or quick results.
So it's not genuine.
Not really. Or sometimes people misinterpret it as just try harder no matter what. Relentless positivity, almost dismissing real struggles.
Which isn't realistic and can lead to burnout.
Exactly. A true growth mindset isn't about ignoring difficulty or pretending failure doesn't hurt. It acknowledges the struggle. It recognizes current limits.
Okay.
But it still fundamentally believes in the process of development. It focuses on finding effective strategies, learning from the failure, adapting, not just banging your head against the wall harder.
So it's about smart effort, strategic learning, not just blind persistence.
Yes, very much so. It's nuanced.
Okay, that distinction is helpful. So let's look at some real examples of this true growth mindset in action. People who really embodied it.
Yeah, the stories make it concrete.
Think about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Probably the most famous basketball player ever.
Right. But the story people often mention.
He got cut from his high school varsity team. Imagine that. For a kid dreaming of basketball glory.
That could have been the end of it for someone with a fixed mindset. Guess I'm not good enough.
But not Jordan. What did he do?
He used it as fuel. Practiced like crazy, hours and hours long after teammates went home.
And his famous quote captures it perfectly, doesn't it?
I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed.
Failure wasn't a judgment for him. It was data, a stepping stone.
Exactly. And another great example, totally different field. J.K. Rowling.
Ah, Harry Potter. But before that,
Rejection. Lots of it. Her
Yeah.
manuscript was rejected by, 12 publishers?
12. That's brutal. Most people would have packed it in.
But she kept going. She believed in the story, sure, but also implicitly in her ability to eventually get it out there, to learn from the process. It shows that resilience, that grit, is often inseparable from creative success.
And we see this today too, right? It's not just about historical icons.
Oh, constantly. Think about YouTube creators or people starting businesses.
Their first videos might get like 10 views.
Mhm.
Their first product might flop completely.
Right. But the ones who succeed long term, they don't just quit. They look at the analytics, they read the comments, they figure out what went wrong, they learn new skills, they pivot.
They iterate. They evolve.
Exactly. The common thread in all these stories is that setbacks weren't seen as proof of I can't. They were seen as, okay, how can I? They were essential parts of the journey.
That ability to learn and adapt is everything. Okay, so now let's turn this back to you, the listener. A moment for self-reflection.
Yeah. How do you spot if maybe a fixed mindset is sneaking into your thinking?
Ask yourself honestly, do I tend to shy away from challenges because I'm worried I might fail or look stupid?
When someone gives you feedback, even constructive criticism, does your first reaction feel defensive, like a personal attack?
Do you find yourself comparing yourself to others a lot? And then feeling really discouraged if they seem better at something?
Or do you catch yourself using those limiting phrases? Oh, I'm just not a creative person. I can never be good at sales. I'm not wired for tech.
If any of those ring a bell.
It's okay. It doesn't mean you're stuck there, but it's a strong sign that a fixed mindset might be influencing some of your thoughts and actions. Awareness is the first step.
It really is. And here's something practical you can try, like right now or later today.
A quick mental exercise.
Yeah. Think of one thing, just one, that you currently believe you really can't do, something specific.
Like learning an instrument, running a certain distance, mastering a piece of software.
Whatever it is, got it. Okay, now just mentally add the word yet to the end of that statement.
I can't play the guitar yet. I can't run a 10K. Yeah, I haven't mastered that software yet.
Feel that. How does that tiny word yet just instantly change the feeling? It opens a door, doesn't it?
It introduces possibility where there was finality. It's surprisingly powerful.
It really is. So, okay, we know what it is, why it matters, how to spot it. How do we actively cultivate more of that growth mindset? What are the strategies?
All right, the practical application. First big one. Change that inner dialogue. Actively listen for those fixed thoughts.
I'm terrible at this. I'll never get it.
And consciously, deliberately reframe them. Add the yet. Or ask, what can I learn from this struggle? It takes practice, like building any muscle.
Okay, reframing the inner voice. What else?
Second, make a deliberate choice to embrace challenges. Don't automatically default to the easy path. See difficulty as the gym for your brain.
Lean into the discomfort, knowing that's where growth happens.
Precisely. Third, and this is often tough, feedback. Train yourself to learn from it. Instead of that immediate defensiveness, try curiosity. Ask questions. What specifically could I do differently? What did you see that I missed?
Treat it like free consulting.
Exactly. It's valuable data, even if it stings a bit initially. Fourth, shift your focus to celebrate effort and the process, not just the win or the final outcome.
Value the learning journey itself.
Yes. Acknowledge the hard work, the strategies you tried, the persistence. That's where the real development happens. And finally,
Surround yourself with the right people.
surround yourself with growth-minded people. Mindsets are contagious. Being around others who believe in learning, who support effort, who bounce back from setbacks, it rubs off.
That makes sense. And there's actual science backing this up, right?
Yep.
Not just positive thinking.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really cool. The brain itself is neuroplastic.
Meaning it can change, it's not fixed.
Exactly. It's not like concrete that sets.
Yeah.
Your brain can physically change, adapt, form new connections, rewire itself based on your experiences, your efforts, your learning.
So when you adopt a growth mindset, practice new skills, push through challenges, you're literally reshaping your brain.
You are literally building a stronger, more capable brain. Your mindset isn't just some abstract attitude. It has a physical impact on your neural architecture. That yet is a command to your brain to build new pathways.
Wow. That neuroplasticity piece just makes it so tangible, you actually can change your potential.
You really can.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the main takeaway seems pretty clear. Your mindset. It can be your biggest roadblock, this invisible fence keeping you pinned in.
Or it can be your greatest asset, your engine for growth, for achievement, for resilience.
And the choice ultimately lies with you.
It does. Every day, in small ways and big ways.
So the question for you to take away today is, what will you choose? And maybe more concretely, looking ahead this week, what's just one fixed mindset thought you're going to catch and actively challenge?
What's one area where you're going to add that powerful little word, yet?
We genuinely love to hear about your own experiences with this, maybe a shift you've made or a yet statement you're working on. Go out there and start cultivating that incredible power you have within you.